Hey, Nick from Playbook here. Hope all is well. Just wanted to show you some quick and dirty UI work I've done. So if you've seen any of our other videos, we're making pretty heavy use of Figma in this project, but designing a rough UI in Figma, it's kind of hard to specify that, hey, this is more of a wireframe versus a hi-fi design. And so the tool that I'm actually using for some of the UI work I've done is Google Slides of all things. And so here's an example of kind of a rough wireframe that I've laid out, explaining to our developer the UI that I think is good, a good starting point for our new conditional logic feature refactor. And so I just draw shapes and draw buttons and use text. The other thing I like to do is I use some icons from Icon Finder. So I have a subscription to Icon Finder. Jeez, typing's a little terrible today. Icon Finder has tons and tons of new icons. I think I pay $9 a month and I can download up to 47 icons per month. And so I find it really good to add a little bit of, a little bit of a more professional look and feel and some color to these wireframes. And so what is going on here in this modal pop-up, might be a separate screen. We'll have to decide that later. Is this first box here is an example of either a checklist box, a multiple choice, or a drop-down. Checklist box, actually this would be either a drop-down or a multiple choice. Either of those just have one selection. A checklist can have multiple selections. And so this would, if this, let's just say it's a drop down, if the employee seniority is selected as a senior developer, we would then show a task that is assign them a laptop. We might have a principal developer or a lead developer. Then we would show them a task that is, assign them a Mac Pro. And so we'd have certain tasks in our task list that would be hidden by default and shown by default. And we can use this conditional logic rule to either show those or hide those tasks. And it allows us to just have a much more flexible way to add conditional logic to Playbook. And so this is really what we're going with here on that feature pivot is you'll have tasks that you can show or hide and basically control that behavior with this conditional logic builder. And so this probably, this isn't a hi-fi design. This is my version of a wireframe. And so I timed myself this morning. It took me 18 minutes to make this. I figured that was too long to show on a video because it gets pretty boring. But I made this in 18 minutes. I sent it over to the developer. He recorded a Loom video, sent it back to me with 3 questions. I responded to those questions. And so, from the span of 5:30 a.m. this morning until 6:30, we really got on the same page with the feature pivot where we're switching from A/B decision forks where you can go down 2 paths to a much more flexible way of doing conditional logic. So I just thought I'd share with you the fact that I have been doing quite a bit of UI prototyping type work using Google Slides and just placing different shapes and text boxes and fonts and buttons, and then combine that with downloading a few free icons from iconfinder.com to complete the look and feel for things that aren't native shapes in Google Slides. So with that, today's tip on quick and dirty design, in addition to showing you what exactly we're doing with this feature pivot within Playbook and building out the MVP to be much more flexible than what we originally had it after getting user feedback from about a dozen people, that there was only one of the dozen people that highlighted the fact that A/B logic was going to be sufficient for them. So with that, just want to share that video with you today. We're getting close to being halfway done with our starting a software company in 100 days project. I've really compressed the timeline and and increased the uncertainty that we're going to get finished with a functioning product in 100 days. But at the end of the day, we want to have something good and useful. And this type of conditional logic is much more applicable to the real world. So with that, have a wonderful day, and would love to have you subscribe, accept notifications, like the video, and keep following along on our journey. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.